Lastly, may I invite Jess Ma, IT Manager of Public Opinion Program, the University of Hong Kong, to talk about Hong Kong POP e-voting system, a very interesting and challenging case. Mr. Ma, please.
Okay, thank you. Hello, everyone. This is Jess Ma from the Public Opinion Program at the University of Hong Kong. Today, I would like to share with you our electronic voting system designed for the civil referendums. We name it POPVote. In these 30 minutes, I would like to quickly go through these agendas with you. Firstly, I will talk about our background, and then a recap of 2 civil referendums we organized in the past 2 years, and some technical challenges, our system design, our system architect, and then if I have time, I would like to ask your suggestion from you, so we can have a quick discussion or whatever. Okay, our background is like this. HKUPOP stands for Public Opinion Program at the University of Hong Kong. It was established 23 years ago, directed by Dr. Robert Chung, who is sitting in these first 2 rows. Now it is directly under the Faculty of Social Science at the University of Hong Kong. Our primary objective is to collect and study public opinion, and actually daily we will conduct telephone polling to collect the public opinion. But this POPVote is another platform. It is a voting platform for mass engagement. Our objective for this voting system is to construct a civil society for promoting civil participation and to demonstrate an electronic voting system to the public. We have actually conducted 2 large-scale events in the past 2 years. In year 2012, we have a 3-2-3 civil referendums. The topic is a mock chief executive election. And the latest one, 2 months ago, we call it New Year Civil Referendum. It is to let the people to express their views on the principle of the CE election. In these 2 civil referendums, we offered 3 voting channels for the public to cast their votes: websites, mobile app, and polling stations. In the first civil referendums, we have set up 15 polling stations in different districts in Hong Kong. You can see the map here. This is the photos taken by Apple Daily. The top one is the polling station situation in front of the polling station in Poly University, and the bottom one is the situation in Tuen Mun Town Hall. And here is the situation in the City University. I share these photos to you is just to let you know or let you feel how the people are eager to cast their votes in our polling station. And actually, in our first civil referendums, our e-voting platform was not performing very well. We were under attack, and there was traffic congestion. So many people cannot vote through our online platform. So many people have to queue up in the polling station. So you can see in these photos, many people are queuing up. And here are some news clips. The newspaper said thousands queued to vote in a mock election. And the next one is hackers failed to deter voters in a mock CE poll. And we can see one very interesting slogan, protester, I call it a protester, is saying, you can attack the web, but not the Hong Kong people. And the result is that we have received more than 200,000 votes in these 3-2-3 civil referendums, and 60% of them were come from the websites and mobile app, and the rest of them are casted in a polling station. And the second one is a New Year civil referendums. This is an advertisement that has been published on a local newspaper, Main Pao. for the Occupy Central with Love and Peace topic. And we also offered some voting channels like the website and the mobile app, and also one polling station in the Victoria Park. This is the Victoria Park photos. And just in case you don't know, even in the polling station, we are using electronic device for the voter to cast their vote, not paper ballot. And the result is that we have received 62,000 votes in one day. And most of them, you can see, they come from the website and the mobile app. And around 2,000 votes are from the station. In this New Year civil referendums events, we have encountered a problem. That is, the poll has generated a sudden surge of text message that our telecom provider cannot handle the SMS request for us. So here comes to our challenges. We are handling, our system is handling very high concurrent traffic. And we have unpredictable network failure. And our system is collecting sensitive data like the Hong Kong ID, mobile phone number, and even the voting decision from the voter. So our system has to be very secure when handling this sensitive data. And since our system is open to the public can cast their vote through the website and the mobile app. We are open to the public, and it is a very high risk to be attacked and being hacked. And when we design our verification protocol for the voter, we figured out that there is no way for foolproof identity check online. We can't find a perfect solution for that. And for sure, we are a very small research unit at the University of Hong Kong. We have the limited resources. We can't build a perfect system to be used for the public. So after some background information, let me go have a deeper look of our system design. When we design our system, we have these 6 principles. I will go through this one by one to you very quickly. Availability, we want a very high available system to handle the high traffic during the voting period. So we have chosen a scalable cloud server, and we would like to use the AWS Elastic Load Balancer and AWS EC2 service with auto-scaling and multi-availability zone. I would like to clarify, I'm just trying to share with you what we have used, what technology we want to use or we would like to use. I'm not trying to sell some products to you. And for the uniqueness, our system should be able to count only one vote for each voter. So we have to collect some information from the voters. We cannot only just let them cast their vote without leaving any identity information. So we want to ask a Hong Kong ID card number from the voters, because we know that Hong Kong ID card number is unique to every Hong Kong resident. But we also know that we have no way to verify a Hong Kong ID card number online from the voter. So we also collect the mobile phone number from the voters, and then we do a SMS verification. About the identity verification, other than the SMS verification, we also have thought of some other methods, like the Hong Kong Post eCert. The Hong Kong Post eCert is one of the methods to verify the voter identity online, but the truth is that the Hong Kong Post eCert are not very common. Most of the Hong Kong people do not have that eCert. So we try to think an alternative to replace this eCert. So we have chosen to use SMS. But SMS still have 2 ways to do this verification. One is called the mobile terminated, which requires the server to send an SMS to the voter Another way is the mobile originated, which requires the voters to send an SMS to our server. You know that sending an SMS is not like sending an WhatsApp. Sending an SMS requires you to pay a small amount of cost, a few cents. After some decision, we know that if we have to pay for all 3 million registered voters in Hong Kong, we may go bankruptcy if we pay all the SMS for them. So we won't use the MT solution. We have chosen to use the MO. We ask the voters to submit an SMS to our server instead of we sending them an SMS. So our SMS verification mechanism is like this. We will ask the voters to submit the mobile phone number to our server. Our POPVote server will generate a verification code to them. And then the voters has to use his mobile phone to enter the verification code and then send the SMS to our telecom operator. Our telecom operator will then pass the SMS information to our POP server. Our POP server will then check the SMS identity with the submitted information to verify the identity. Okay, for the fairness, our system should be able to let every eligible person to cast their vote. We want to cater as many people as we can. So, other than offer the website and mobile app, those are off-site voting through the online platform. We know that some people cannot get online. They may not know how to use mobile app or online website. So we offer the on-site voting channels, which is the polling station. And after these 2 civil referendums, we also found that some people, when they go to the polling station, they do not know how to operate an electronic voting device. We use tablet for them to cast their vote. So we will consider to use paper ballots in parallel when they cast their votes in a polling station in the future. For the eligibility, our system will only allow the Hong Kong permanent resident aged 18 years or above to cast their votes. But we know that there is no solution on the online platform to check their age and check if they are permanent residents. So we have to ask themselves to declare whether they are permanent residents and their age. For the privacy, which we are very concerned about, the personal data we have collected, like the Hong Kong ID and the mobile phone number, and there are some sensitive data, like the voting decision. So when we store the personal data or sensitive data, we will do hashing or encryption. And after we store those hashed value or encrypted data, we will keep the data retention period very short. So we will remove or destruct all the data after the voting. For the integrity, we have to ensure our system is well protected by firewall and all personal data are hashed, so nobody can reverse the hashed value into the plain format. And the ballot, we have to encrypt it. We cannot hash the ballot, the voting decision. If we hash all the voting decision, we cannot know who they have votes. So after some design principles, I would like to show you some screenshots of our product. This is our POPVote mobile app. Very quickly, the first step is to download the POPVote mobile app from the App Store or the Google Play. And then they have to read some terms about the privacy issue. And the step 2 is to input the Hong Kong ID and mobile phone number. And then they can send an SMS to our POPVote system, and they can cast the vote. These screenshots or this flow is from the user's perspective. Later, I will show you how the system handles this request and how our server architecture is built. So here comes with our system architecture. In the first generation, which is 2 years ago. We deployed 2 cloud and 2 physical servers to handle those traffic. We used Linux, Apache, MySQL, and PHP. This may be very brittle, and the fact is we were under attack. We could not handle those generated traffic. So we know that we need to evolve to handle those attacks or handle those abnormal traffic, handle normal traffic, everything. So the next generation, this is our latest generation of POPVote. We have redesigned and rewritten the whole system. We have made use of the cloud technology provided by AWS. We used the AWS cloud, the EC2, elastic load balancing, auto-scaling, CloudFront to do some caching, Redis as a temporary data storage, and SQS as a buffer before we store the data into the database, and RDS as a permanent data storage. And in this second generation of POPVote, we have even divided our system into many subsystems. We have 8 subsystems, and we are trying to distribute the traffic into different subsystems to withstand high concurrent traffic. Okay, here I will show you all the subsystems. The 8 subsystems, I will go through them one by one to you. The first one is the most left-hand side, the protection subsystems. This is the subsystem between the client and our AWS cloud to protect the traffic before entering our AWS cloud. And the middle one is the capture service generation. This is for generating and capture image when they input their Hong Kong ID and their mobile phone information to us. When they call our API, we request them to send us a capture. So we have this subsystem to handle the capture. And the web and the app API, this is the API to handle the client requests like the mobile app and the website. And the SMS gateway subsystem, this is the system to receive the SMS from the telecom operator. When we receive this SMS data, we will put them into the Redis. You can see the blue disk is the Redis. And the next one is the station API. It is separated from the web and the app. This station API is for the station server, because in each polling station, we will set up a dedicated server there to handle the local traffic. And this API is to receive or handle those traffic from the station server in the polling station. And the last 3 subsystems is the ballot submission systems. Once the ballot is submitted to our system, we will let the AWS SQS to handle the data first and then put them into our RDS. The ballot counting is another subsystem. Once the voting is done, we will use this ballot counting service to calculate the results. And the last one is the logging, monitoring, and control panel subsystem. This is to oversee the whole system. This is the 8 subsystems. If we put them all together, you can see the whole system is like this. This is our server architecture. I won't go through each arrow with you now because it is too complicated. I cannot spend time to elaborate each of them to you, but I've chosen to tell you a simple flow of submitting a ballot from the server side perspective. First of all, when a user when a user open our mobile app or website, they have to get a token. They call our get token API. And then after getting the token, they can submit the personal data to our server by calling this submit personal data API. And then we need them to do an SMS verification. So we have an API to check the SMS status. After that, if they pass the SMS verification, we have an API for them to submit the ballot. You can see in the center is the ballot submission service. In this ballot submission service, it will check the data and post status. And actually, before the data is entered our ballot submission service, they will all put to the Amazon SQS as a buffering to handle a high traffic in case our database cannot do not have enough resources to handle those traffic. So we put them all into the SQS first, and then our ballot submission service will retrieve the data from the SQS when they are available to do so. And then this service will add the record to our RDS for permanent storage. I've skipped some steps like hashing and encryption, which I will tell you later. After adding the record to the RDS, the complete vote is finished. But when the voting is done, we have to decrypt the ballot and then count the ballot by using the ballot counting service. This is the complete flow of submitting a ballot to our system. And the server architecture is like this. So you may wonder, what software or what technology we have used to build this AWS cloud? I mean, in the EC2, what is inside? We use the Turnout and Python to build our web and app API and SMS API services. The Turnout is a very good web server and framework to handle high concurrent traffic. So we use this to handle those web and app SMS API. And for the station API, we use Nginx, Flask, and Python to build that service. And Nginx and PHP for generate the capture image. And for other systems, we simply use Python because they don't need to handle high traffic, or they don't need to handle some web server. So we can simply use Python. And to automatically deploy our server onto the AWS cloud, you can see that our server architecture is very sophisticated. We won't do that, I mean, create the EC2 or create the load balancer one by one. We have to use some automatic scripts to do so. So we have used Puppet to automatically deploy our server onto our AWS cloud. In these few last slides, I would like to share with you how we hash our personal data. We are not simply using SHA-512 to hash the data and then store onto our database. Instead, we have generated 512 sorts before we deploy our server. And when we receive the personal data, we will select one of the sorts from these 550 sorts, depending on the characteristics of our personal data. And then we concatenate this personal data with the sorts, and then perform many times of SHA-512 to have a hash value. For different personal data, we will use different sets of sorts to provide higher security. And actually, this is just one tier of hashing. We will have two tiers of hashing, like this. If you still remember, we have different subsystems. One of them is API subsystems to handle those client requests. Another one is the ballot submission subsystems. In these two subsystems, we have performed two tiers of hashing. When the client submit a data X to our system, we will perform the first tier of hashing using sort A. And then we will put the hashed value into our SQS, becomes Y. And after that, when the ballot submission system retrieves the data Y, it will perform another tier of hashing. and it will become EZ, and then we will store this onto our database. This is really sophisticated system to provide a very high security to avoid our system important data being leaked. So actually that's all of our presentation today. Just a few points to let you know what we are going to do next. We know that our verification system is not perfect yet. Our SMS protocol sometimes will got congestion and not perfect to identify the voter identity. So we would like to enhance the verification protocol even more. And we are expecting and we are looking for an e-identity card for each Hong Kong resident. This cannot be done by ourselves because we are just a research unit. We would like to see if the government can help to maybe provide an e-identity card for each of the Hong Kong people, so that we can easily verify the Hong Kong people identity online without using the SMS protocol or any other not common protocol. So next, what we will do is another wave of civil referendum in June. This is a forecast message. I hope someone can join us. So the last message I would like to deliver is, if you want to be volunteers helping us to do the coding or help us to set up the polling station in June, you can be our volunteers. And please just drop us an email, popvotes@hkupop.hku.hk, and we can work together to build a POPVote system for the next civil referendums. Thank you very much for listening.